I'm back. I know it's been a while, apologies. I'm not going to sit here and tell you where I've been. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably see that I've been here and everywhere, working and doing all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, finally back in the garage after a few months. So I thought I'd just kind of put this video up. I've been meaning to put this video up for months and months now. So back in July, I had the Mark 1 rolling roaded when I kind of first got it back from the adaptions place. So when the car was at the adaptions place, it was running really rough because the car was running too rich. I think it was on, is it cylinders 3 and 4? The one's nearest the radiator. So when they were setting the car up, the car was just constantly coking the plugs up. And then when I went to pick the car up, I put a new set of spark plugs in it. It was great driving home, but when I kind of got back into Manchester and I started taking a little bit of traffic, it just kept sutting the plugs in. It was just misfiring and doing all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so whenever I had to, when I wanted to go out on it, I had to clean the plugs off and do all that kind of stuff. Anyway, when I was over at Tom's a few months back and Paul Jeffries was helping him put the engine in, Paul kindly kind of leaned off the carburetors for obviously cylinders 3 and 4, just so I could get down to the rolling road session as well without me getting kind of stuck in a bit of a pickle. So anyway, I had it rolling roaded down at Salvan's Mini and Metro Centre in Coventry. The reason, obviously, I went all the way to Coventry is the lads at Salvan's Mini and Metro Centre actually built the Mark 1 engine back in, I think it's about December 2019, so obviously this car's been restored kind of near enough 2 years now. So obviously they built the engine, they kind of know the whole spec of it, and I wanted to get a real printout of exactly what is going on with the engine as well, just for the history of the car as well really. So they obviously built the engine, put a running in tune on it as well when the car was first kind of set up and put on the road. And obviously the car's kind of done, well at that point it had probably done, you know, over 500 miles as well now. So like I say, they said once it's done about 500 miles, bring it back, get it on the rollers and we'll get it set up properly. When it comes to obviously running in engines, everyone's got a different view of it. Some people say like, you know, just drive it like you stole it, you'll be fine. Others say we like do, you know, 500 miles, 1,000 miles, but I don't think there's any given kind of way to run an engine. I think it just goes down to personal preference. But anyway, like I say, by the time I'd got it to me and Steve took it out, it'd been to Liverpool and obviously down to Coventry, it'd done well over 500 miles anyway. So yeah, anyway, it turned out to be pretty interesting, to be fair. It made way more power than what I was expecting. It turns out that it is not running the standard cam, so it has actually got a Swift Tune SW5 cam in it, the same as my Mark 3 Cooper S. That's obviously 1380 SW5, and it's still running the H4 carburetors on the Mark 3, and this is running the H4s, but this one's got the proper original ones from the 60s on it, not kind of the remanufactured ones that Swift Tune do, because they're new carburetors that are on the Mark 3. So yeah, like I say, so in terms of obviously engine spec before we get onto the rolling road, so like I say, it's got the 3 synchro box on it. It's obviously the Mark 1 1275 thin flange block, which has been bored out to like a 1293. It's got a Mark 3 Cooper S head on it. The reason it's got a Mark 3 Cooper S on it, for the purists out there, and even I'm a little bit of a purist and I prefer the original head on it, but the reason I've got the original AG163 head over there, if you've been following my videos for a bit, you'll probably see that I've touched on it before. The reason it's not got the original head on it is because Salvans wouldn't put a warranty on the engine, because those heads are prone to cracking. So obviously those AG163 heads as well, because the valves are that big, I don't believe that you can convert them to unleaded. So what they did was they got a Mark 3 S head on it with obviously the unleaded valve seats and put that on. So like I said, I've still got the original head, and I think from the front you can't really tell the difference between them anyway, unless obviously someone lifts the rocker cover off and looks for the numbers. So it's got a Mark 3 S head on it, which has been ported and all that other stuff that they do. It's running standard rockers. It's got obviously the H4 carburetors on it. It's got a lightened and balanced flywheel or clutch, whatever that is. I mean, when it comes to engine specs, I'm not the most technical guy in the world. I'm just kind of repeating what I've been told. So yeah, it's fairly standard, but it's obviously not completely standard. So yeah, like I say, I've managed to get a little bit of footage of obviously the lads at Salvan's working on the car, and then I've just managed to record the final run as well. I've not I'm not going to put like minutes and minutes of just standard kind of rolling road footage. It'll get pretty boring that. So I try to keep it a little bit short and sweet. So yeah, I'll let you watch how it got on at Salvums, and then I'll catch you in a second, and I'll let you know how much power it made. So I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so it made 92.5 brake horsepower. So for me, sort of 92 brake horsepower. I know BHP is very much kind of pub figures. I saw a good quote actually on Facebook the other day. It was a chap called Colin. He put, BHP is pub talk, but torque wins races, and that's very, very true. I don't know the exact figure of torque on the car as well. It's because Salvums rolling road only gives you kind of like a brake horsepower reading, but I spoke to Swift Tune and they said it's probably very, very similar in torque as what it is BHP as well. So it's probably like about 90 foot-pounds or newton meters of torque. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, it goes like an absolute rocket. I'm really, really happy with it. When I first started driving it, I had a sneaky suspicion things were completely standard, because obviously I've come from a 1275 Metro, and getting in this, it was like just ridiculously quick, and I thought, I think a standard Metro engine is about 65 brake horsepower, whereas a standard S is 77 brake horsepower, and I think it's about 55 at the wheels. This is roughly making, if you do the calculation, I think it's about 77 at the wheels, so it's basically making standard Mk1 S power at the wheels as opposed to the crank now. So yeah, I had a sneaky suspicion it wasn't standard, and like I say, it turned out it had been messed around with a little bit. But yeah, like I say, it drives absolutely phenomenal. It's by far the best Mini I've drove personally. It's just really, really raw. It's not as fast as the Mark III Swift Tune Cooper S that I've got, but it's not far behind it. So when there's one person in this and there's two people in the Mark III, they're basically exactly the same. But when you get one person in the Mark III and one person in this, then they're gone. Because me and my mate Alex, who you might have seen on previous videos, have been whizzing around all sorts of places in these. We've been to loads of shows and stuff over the years, so we've had a right good doing them. So yeah, absolutely cracking car. Obviously now I've used it for a few months, I have got a couple of teething issues that I need to sort out as well, which will be coming in previous videos. But my main focus in the next couple of weeks is going to be my minivan. I've been doing a little bit of work on the minivan off camera because I've been having numerous different problems on it. So one of the biggest mistakes I made with that minivan when I did it was I used all new parts, and new is not always best, which I've unfortunately found out. So I've been chasing my tail doing that. I've done a little bit of work on the inside of it. I've put a new speedo on it as well, put a new Cooper S speedo on it. So like I say, I'll do a separate video on that van explaining what I've done and what my plans are for that moving forward, because I'm hoping to get this in Bingley in January, if obviously COVID allows us and stuff like that. So I've got that to do. The Mark III, I've got a new carpet to put in that and a few other bits of interior stuff that I need to sort out as well. I need to get the speedo cable fixed on that as well, because that's not working. So yeah, I'm just going to work my way through these as and when. But like I say, first one's the van, and then it'll probably be the Mark III, and then I'll probably get onto this one because I've messed around with the other cars. But yeah, finally, in terms of obviously YouTube moving forward, I know quite a lot of people have messaged me over the past few weeks on Instagram asking me where I've been, and like I said, I've just been really busy with work and just enjoying life really, because when I first started YouTube I was doing it in lockdown, so I had obviously a hell of a lot more time on my hands. I wasn't travelling all around the UK for work, so you know, getting in the garage and editing videos was much easier, whereas now things have obviously opened up and I'm kind of full steam ahead again with everything. Obviously the garage time's kind of disappeared out the window quite a bit really, but like I say, I'm hoping over Christmas I can get in here and I can get a few jobs done once I've finished what I'm doing in the house and I've calmed down with work. Like I said, I've been crazy at work. One of my with works van, I had a Ford that blew up, so I've got a new van now. So I've acquired a rear, so this new van I've got is like a 7-seater thing, so I've took the rear bench seat out of it obviously so I can get kit in and stuff for work. So this is why I'm sat here on my new little garage sofa doing this video. But yeah, like I say, if you have got any questions anyway, obviously about the Rolling Road and the Mark 1, just like I say, pop a comment in the comment section. I'll get back to you, and I'll hope to get another video up before Christmas. I'm not guaranteeing it, but if I don't, I hope everyone has a good Christmas and a happy New Year, and I shall see you in the next video, which will obviously be on the minivan, and I'll catch up with you again soon. So take it easy guys, and I'll see you later.